Are we live or what's up?
Not yet.
We're recording.
We're not live.
There we go.
There we go. Wait, nope, still not live yet.
No.
Oh, I see it. Got it. I didn't get the notification. That's weird.
I got it. I'm on my phone since
All right, I'm sharing to the.
the group.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
cool. Oh, there it is. That was late. Matt, do you have the intro? You want me to get it?
I can do the intro if you want.
Oh.
Just tell me when. Hey, everybody, and welcome to the AFC South Fan Battle, episode week 7. I'm co-hosting today with my boy, DeForest Buckner's #1 fan and stalker, Harish Nukala.
What it do?
And then today with the Titans, we have the #1 bandwagon fan, John Ha.
Why how am I bandwagon? I'm a little confused by this. I'm insulted.
And then following suit with the whole bandwagon theme, we got 32 Nick, the legendary troll for the Houston Texans. And then with the Jaguars sharing last place with us in the division and the basement, we got the basement dweller, Justin Gonzalez.
What up?
Spoken like a true basement fan.
Right. I know how it feels. And in second place, as always, never first, we got Chris Jackson for the Colts.
Mark it now. Julian Blackman, Defensive Rookie of the Year. Count it.
Oh, bold statement. All right, guys. So we had an interesting week this week, outside the division, inside the division. Big news coming out of receiver-wise. We got Antonio Brown going to the Buccaneers. Any thoughts on that one?
The rich get richer. I mean, they're going to need him now that Godwin's going to be out for a little while. But, I mean, Tom Brady needs weapons, I guess. So, I guess that's what happens.
He's got them already.
Yeah, but this is what happens when you go to a team and, you don't have the best game plan ever. But, like I said, I'm not sending any shots, but you can hear the gun go off. So, so it is what it is.
So I guess the quick question for everybody, we're almost midway through the season. Tom Brady's lighting it up in Tampa Bay and Bill Belichick is struggling in New England. Are we now ready to say Bill needed Tom versus Tom needed Bill, or is it too early?
It's too early.
I think it's too early considering how many people decided to opt out in New England as well.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, I think it's a quarterback play. I don't think Cam Newton's Cam Newton. I mean, they had a good game plan at the beginning of the season, and it just fell off, and now you're seeing how Cam Newton can't throw, and that's hurting him. So I just think it's quarterback play. Watch this genius motherfucker pull off a move and get Trevor Lawrence. I'm telling you, Bill Belichick is a genius. He's going to do it. Watch.
He's got to compete with the Jets. They got to get him first.
Yeah, but he has to play the Jets twice. What makes you think he's not going to throw those 2 games? Hey, guys.
I've watched the Jets play. It's impossible to throw a game against them.
But what didn't they come out with Trevor Lawrence saying he's not playing for the Jets? He's going.
If he's smart.
Well,
Yeah,
there was an article.
He said he's
Rodney
not.
White said that if he was Trevor Lawrence, he wouldn't play for the Jets. Yeah.
Right. There's an article that came out today saying that Trevor Lawrence might come back for his senior year. So there might be some correlation between the Jets and him not wanting to go there.
I mean, do you
guys
blame
are
him?
really you guys are breaking my heart.
Well, isn't it possible he could just say no? What happened to Eli? Because Eli just said no. I'm not going.
Eli
to the
said no.
Yeah, he basically demanded a trade.
Right.
So did Peyton, Elway.
No, Peyton said I've gone to go to the Colts.
Yeah.
He was drafted by Colts.
They drafted Peyton, number 1.
Yeah.
That was a trade draft. But Bo Jackson.
It was Elway. Elway did that.
Yeah.
To the Colts.
Yeah.
Right.
Bo Jackson, he didn't want to play for the Buccaneers. He went to play for the Royals. So I mean, people do it all the time.
Yeah. Well, what is the rules on that? Like, can you just say no? Like, they trade you, but like, is it like you kind of have to? Like, what is I don't really know. Like, is there a rule or something?
They've all been successful in getting what they want.
Yeah, but I think if he doesn't sign his draft
tender,
his draft tender, that I don't know if he goes back into the draft pool for next year. Don't quote me on that. I don't know if I'm 100% right, but I
was
think
just curious what happens is you just don't get to play that year, or you just
they own your rights. You can't play for anybody else. They own your rights.
In terms of Lawrence, I mean, he has to declare for the NFL draft after the fact. So, I mean, if he sees that the Jets are bad enough, I think he'll still have enough time to say, I'm coming back for my senior season.
You'll definitely know what the draft order is by the time you can either go back or whatnot.
Well, he already said he's going back to school if the Jets have the top pick. He already said it.
Wow.
You guys said as a Colts fan, I'm going to be really, really sad.
This is crazy because you guys, last time I was on, you guys defended Adam Gase so much. I mean, how many more indictments does this guy need?
Who, me?
No, I wasn't on with you. When I was on the podcast, I don't know if we did it during the show or maybe we were just talking beforehand, but you guys liked Adam Gase. You guys were defending him a little bit.
We weren't defending. I just said he wasn't as bad as everybody claims. That team is terrible. That team he walked into is a straight garbage.
Yeah, they are bad, but he makes it worse.
Yeah, but he makes Tannehill look bad in Miami.
I mean,
he's flourishing.
There's a lot of indictments on Adam Gase. There's so many bad things.
You say he made Miami look bad, Tannehill look bad, but he took him to the playoffs. So with Tannehill, so I still took him to the playoffs once or not. I mean, y'all.
I don't know, man.
A broken clock's right twice a day.
I don't know, man.
Well, what about
broken clock?
Is
What's
he
that? Sorry.
Is Sam Darnold a bust now then?
No. So this is my master plan as a Colts fan, and this is why I need the Jets.
Oh, here we go.
Pick. I need the Jets to get the number 1 pick so that Chris Ballard can go trade a second-round pick for Sam Darnold and bring him to the Colts.
Second,
I want that so bad.
That'll be a 4th. It will be a 4th.
I'll take that too. I'll take that.
I'm not giving nothing.
I want Sam Darnold.
3rd or 4th. That's the only thing I'm giving for.
Yeah, no.
Just because the unknown. I mean, I think Darnold could be a good quarterback, but you don't know. So that's just that's the danger.
Here's the thing. I mean, you can give. I think anybody who's been under Adam Gase needs another shot. I think if they already haven't done anything with another team, you know what I mean. If you're under the Adam Gase organization, you might be able to thrive somewhere else.
So let's before we get off topic here, just to kind of keep it going. Other news is Des Bryant gets signed to the Ravens practice squad. This is, I think he's been out of the league 2 or 3 years now.
It's been a minute.
It's been 2 years.
3 years? 3 years.
2 years.
I thought it was about that.
Well, the thing is, he was signed temporarily with the Saints, but then he immediately, I think, tore his Achilles, so he didn't even get to play a game.
Yeah, first practice he tore his Achilles and was out for the rest of the season.
Yep.
Yeah.
So thoughts on that? Again, another story of the rich get richer. So go for it.
Well, I mean, a practice squad doesn't really say much, but what is the Ravens like receiving core looking like too much? I mean, is Hollywood Brown doing a whole lot? I haven't paid too close attention to the Baltimore.
Not too much. Not for what not for what they were expecting out of him. They were expecting him to be the burner, and he's.
Well, Lamar really loves throwing to Mark Andrews. I know that, but that's about it in terms of the receivers that I'm.
Well, I get a lot of flack for this, but I'm going to say it because it's true. Lamar Jackson is a black Tim Tebow. He's great at running and is okay at passing. He cannot throw his receivers open. He can only throw to open receivers. That his biggest weakness is he can't throw receivers open. So, yeah, Brown's stats are going to be hurting a little bit. Maybe Des Bryant would come in and help that. But, man, Achilles injury is so hard to come back.
Well, he's played for so long, too. I mean, the last time wasn't the Cowboys the last team he actually played with?
Yeah. Well, the other thing is you could probably see, because the one thing that you will probably get out of him now, I mean, I know he's a little bit older, but I mean, he's still a big body receiver, somebody who is still going to be tough to kind of engage with. So, I mean, you could probably see him just opening up a lot more running lanes to the outside, just being somebody who's actually, and he's a very underrated blocker on the outside as well. So, I mean, he's going to actually probably help open up that run game for him as well. So, I mean, he's going to have more than one purpose in that offense rather than just catching the ball.
Well, that's if anything happens. Usually practice squad doesn't amount to much, especially a midseason sign like that.
Yeah, I think he's going to play.
He could play. He could absolutely play.
He's not.
They don't really have any options.
I think the reason why they signed him to the practice squad, and I saw this in the article, is for financial reasons. They got him for a cheaper price to bring, because all they got to do. I think it's like I read it's $250,000 more to bump him up.
Right. He wasn't getting offers anywhere else.
Instead of $3 million, $4 million. So it was a smart move for the Ravens to sign him to the practice squad.
I think they're a smart organization. I think they do things pretty cleverly.
Yeah, that great front office there. Very
Speaking of the Ravens, other big news in the AFC North, OBJ. He is out for the season. I believe was it ACL, right? Tore his ACL.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So he gets to sit on the sidelines, get to smell all the poop he wants.
I will say this. I thought Baker looked better when Odell was off the field.
I did too. I mean, I think looking at what he did after Baker left, and and in Tennessee, we'll see this year. People give the Bengals a lot of flack for being 1-5.
No,
Joe Burrow is,
man can play.
Yeah.
Right? He had them down by 21. He had us down by 21. When that team makes some changes to the offensive line and learns how to win, that defense, I think before they played us, were second in yards allowed over.
I'm terrified of Joe Burrow this week. I'm scared of him.
If they can get weapons that are not 9 years old out there with a walker like AJ Green does, I think he would have a legitimate shot. He has no weapons.
He needs
they got to build the team up. I mean, like their biggest pick was him, and he was their biggest get, and now they need
don't
to build
sleep
it
on
around.
that.
That T. Higgins pick was good.
Yeah,
I said the biggest pick. The biggest pick was Burrow.
Sure.
But now you got to build the rest of a team around that strength.
Yeah. And,
that Higgins pick was very underrated.
It wasn't going to happen overnight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're definitely. He's playing really well though.
He's great. I'm legitimately terrified of him this week.
But anyway, let's go ahead and we're getting to that halfway point of the season. So I mean, we can start with the AFC South and kind of see where we are first. But let's just we can just open it up and talk about what are your biggest surprises of the season. What are your biggest disappointments?
Let's start off with Nick. Nick, what's your biggest surprise of the whole NFL? Who surprised you the most?
The Browns.
Your biggest surprise?
The Browns. Yep. It's about time. They've been saying for 4 years now that they're going to come up on the come up, and they finally actually are playing good football now. And
they're sitting 5-2 now. Their only two losses are granted to the Ravens and to the Steelers, right?
Two great teams too.
Big
I mean,
losses
they're great.
though. They were blown out in those games.
Sure.
That's it's tough.
It's one of those things where you play those teams twice, so you can turn around
division games.
Yeah, you could turn around and you could beat them. It's I think it's the beauty, right? The thing that worries me is I think that as great as that division is, outside of the Bengals, obviously, that division might beat each other up.
Yeah, right? But I think they're gonna have the second half of not doing shit because no OBJ. That's gonna kill them. That's gonna kill them now.
Yeah,
But Nick, I'm glad you picked the Browns because I got flack from everybody in the chat on our live chat because I said, "Watch out for the Browns. The Browns are going to be a good team, especially when they play the Titans." So I'm glad you picked that team. I appreciate it, Nick.
Of all the teams that would have the best view, right? It would be 32 Nick.
Right.
Yeah.
So he probably knows the best.
So, all right. So Nick, what's your biggest disappointment in the whole NFL?
The Houston Texans. The biggest disappointment in the NFL has got to be the Houston Texans.
Bro, I would agree with you, but ever since every week is a win. I don't care if we finish the season 1-15. Bill O'Brien's gone. We win every week. Point blank. We win every week.
It's either Houston Texans or the Dallas Cowboys. The biggest disappointment.
Ooh, good. That's a good one. The Cowboys kind of just fell in their face. I mean, I think it goes back to Mike McCarthy and how much not good of a fit he ended up being, right?
Dude, that is a mess. They need to fire him already. That's crazy.
Yeah. They've got to scratch it. I mean, you can't do anything else. Especially, there's rumors that they might tag Dak again. And if they're going to do that, they should. He carried them.
Look, Dak is going to be the next turner.
Yeah, I think Dak, if they tag him again, he's worth like $50 million.
Yeah,
he's gonna be able to get way more.
They can't tag him. They can't tag him again.
I thought you get two tag. Oh, because of the price. The price moves up.
Yeah,
that's right. Because it's whatever the league is worth at that point.
Yeah, I think the stat I read it was 30% of their total cap would be Dak if they tag him again. Yeah.
Damn.
Look, mark my words. Prescott's going to be the next Tony Romo, a great quarterback that gets all the flack because his team sucks. And he's a great quarterback. He gets all the bad rap because of that horrible team. I feel sorry for the guy.
Well, as much as you want to say, like with Dallas, them being a disappointment, I mean, they have injury. I think they lost their whole entire O-line except for maybe Zach Martin. But I mean, I think one team that's overlooked as far as disappointing that we saw actually be good over the last 2-3 years is probably the Vikings. I mean, they've given up games to teams that it's just like they really shouldn't have won. I mean, I think they're sitting 1-5 right now.
Texans only win is the Texans.
Yeah, I mean, they had the Titans dead to rights, and then they let the Titans come back and literally beat them in the very last minute.
Yeah, they had the Titans dead to rights. They had the Texans dead to rights. Or not the Texans, the Seahawks with that huge mistake late in that game, going for it on fourth down. That's not a bad football team. Yeah, they're missing their second best linebacker. That's not a bad football team. I think they're just running into ran into some bad luck and some poor decision making.
I think it's bad.
And I'm a big fan of Don Zimmer. I'm a huge fan of Don Zimmer.
Chris, would that be your biggest disappointment? What's your biggest surprise?
Biggest surprise. Man, at this point, honestly, I want to say if we're going with surprises, I really want to say that it's probably the Texans. Because I mean, listen, we saw the DeAndre Hopkins trade and how badly that went. And I mean, like I said, they have the speed, they have everything that they probably should. Like the O-line is still better probably than it's been in the last few years.
Since Watson's been there. It's the best O-line he's had.
Okay, listen. Okay, Nick. First off, relax. Okay, I didn't know that you were a Texans fan right now. All right. So, but it's just like they literally, like, I mean, they literally went from first to worst, and I mean, I want to say that they still have the whole rest of the season, but I mean, there's nothing right now indicating that they could potentially end up turning it around.
No, it's over.
Yeah, it's over.
All right. Well, John, go ahead and give us your biggest surprises, your biggest disappointment.
Is it possible that my biggest surprise and disappointment is the Bears? Maybe like in the same time, I didn't expect them to be where they're at, and then I kind of thought that they would. The Rams was last night, but that didn't work out either. I don't know.
So the interesting thing about the Bears, right? That defense is as good as advertised. It's a really good defense, but it's also a defense that at this point, if you keep putting them on the field because of 3 and outs, they're going to get tired, right? Especially when you're going against high-powered offenses, as they're doing all season, right?
They've had some, and they've got what, 5 wins?
They're 5-2.
Yeah, they're going against great teams, and they've got 5 wins out of it.
Yeah.
And maybe the Niners is also a qualifier for biggest surprise and disappointment. Like they disappointed me to start, but now they're surprising me. Like I counted them out and finished. Now, I think they can make a real run at the division.
Well, I mean, the division right now is like everybody's
wide
over
open.
500. They're 4-3, and then like the top is 6-1.
I mean, I would say Seattle, but they don't know how to play defense. So
fair enough. And then real quick, Matt, did you already give us yours?
No, let's go with Justin. Let's go with Justin. Justin, go ahead.
I'm just gonna pick 2 players real quick. Biggest surprise to me is Teddy Bridgewater. Really going to Carolina and
good call.
Just taking off. I mean, I watched the game Sunday and was just impressed in and out. Every play he looked, when the offensive line broke down, I mean, he still looked good. So
is it possible to say that Carolina's better without McCaffrey?
No, because I think he adds a different dynamic that they don't have right now.
So they couldn't run the ball Sunday, so they just went pass happy. And I think once CMC comes back, that'll get fixed. But my biggest disappointment, which is not going to be all his fault, I'm going to pick another player, but it's I believe he was the AFC Rookie of the Year last year, and Josh Jacobs. I mean, I don't know what's going on with these last 3 games. He's been productive, but I think the Raiders are starting to shift the offense away from being such a run-happy offense and starting to let Carr throw the ball. That would probably be my biggest disappointment because I literally thought he would probably be the top 3 running back in the NFL with how much they ran it last year and how successful he was.
I watched the Raiders a couple of times, and I think it's not just that Josh Jacobs is disappointing. I think it goes to show how good Derek Carr has been this year.
He's kind of the hot hand. I think they're playing him right now.
Henry Ruggs has looked phenomenal in that offense. He's been a beast. I know he's on my fantasy team.
Now you can play through the eyes of the child in an all.
Nick, quiet in the basement, please. But I think
go ahead.
I think it's that. Speaking of the basement, let's go ahead and start going into our teams. We're going to start with the Colts first. So we'll start with Chris just because they had a bye week. What is this bye week? I mean, the gauntlet is coming up. What does this bye week mean for the Colts, Chris? And what do you have for last week?
It just means really, it's like I think every team in the division dropped a game. I mean, we got healthier. So, I mean, the thing is now it's just like it's really just about making sure that everybody just stays healthy and has the chemistry that we've been had. I mean, we've been missing Pittman. We've been missing Campbell. I think we're probably going to be getting Leonard back at 100%. And, all of those, especially in this offense with Phillip Rivers, they're going to be vital. Darius Leonard, I mean, the defense didn't look nearly as good as they had in previous games since he's been gone. So, I mean, it's going to be a big difference. And, I mean, we're going against the Lions, so this should be a good game where I hope that they don't play down to the fact that the Lions are the Lions. But, I mean, just staying healthy is going to be the name of the game moving forward. So, I want to say that hopefully if everybody's at 100%, I think that moving through this one, we should at best be 5-1 moving through here. If not, then 3-3 is probably going to be. I'm going to see going to be the outlook of being the worst record that we'll have in this next 6-game stretch.
What are you looking for this weekend to see? You get the Lions this week. I think that's a road game in Detroit. So what are your thoughts on that? What are you hoping to see, and what is your prediction?
The offense actually getting started early. We've been stagnant, and then, you saw with the Bengals, you've seen it with other teams where it's just like we don't get off to a good start, and then we're playing from behind, so we're playing hurry up. If you want to just go and just get moving, you got to establish early your offense, establish the defense early. Don't let them get stupid points on the board. Joe Burrow lit us up, and that's no slight against Joe Burrow because he's absolutely great at this stage in his career being a rookie. But at the same time, we can't afford to just let teams just go ahead and start off hot. Like, we have to assert dominance and then just make sure that we're being consistent.
Cool. Real quick before we move on, prediction.
For Lions?
Yep.
30-13 Colts.
Wow. Got him coming up big. Okay.
Oh.
All right. Well,
now talk about consistency. Let's talk about consistency losing. Justin, you and the Jags, y'all have a hate and love relationship? How did Sunday go for you, bub?
I think, 24 hours before the game, there was talk about benching Minshew. I don't think that there was any doubt that he was going to play the game, or even if it went south, he's the quarterback for the rest of this year. Okay. We're not going to stroll out Mike Glennon. We're not going to stroll out Jake Luton or whatever his name is. That's just not going to happen. And, it again showed, where he struggles, and in the game, James Robinson did everything he could in that game with, the O-line breaking down. There's a clip out there with Ben Barch, the right guard that replaced A.J. Cann, getting blown up on a play, and he's still able to run the ball. So, James Robinson is our running back, moving forward, and I'm confident in that. But Minshew just showed happy feet once the pocket breaks down, taking unnecessary, scrambles out of the pocket. You know what I mean? So with him, I think that's going to be our downfall. I think the rest of the year, we know our defense is terrible. We're just going to give up 20, 30 points every game, and the offense is just not going to be able to recover. So I think, if you're a Jag fan at this point, still a Jag fan, at this point, you need to embrace the tank and just, buck up and, get ready for the draft. And I know we say that a lot, but I think it just goes further to prove that the inefficiencies that Minshew had last year, he hasn't overcome them this year with his happy feet and all that stuff. And I don't think that's going to happen with him being the starter of our franchise. I think he's got to sit behind someone. So the game was brutal. The game was brutal. I'm not going to lie. The rest of the games are going to be brutal. So you just got to go in with the expectation that we're going to get blown out. But hey, hopefully the offense can get some garbage time points and make it fun for all of us and enhance our fantasy teams, and just hope we don't win. We lose every game, and hopefully the Jets win a couple, and then Trevor Lawrence is in a number 16 Jag uniform next year. So
there's a theme with the Jags. Like every 12 years, y'all have that run, 2017, so forth, so on. You got 9 years. So, you got 9 years. That's not very far away there.
Sure. Hopefully the noise that's going on in Jacksonville right now with our owner putting out a product that is worthy of an NFL product instead of trotting out.
That 2007 scene was pretty good. They were pretty fun.
Sure. And also 2017, but I think at the end of it all, we have to put pressure on our owner to do a little bit better with his hiring and keeping a close eye on the talent out there.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, speaking of owner putting eyes on talent, we got one owner that can't do nothing compared with the GM or head coach, offensive coordinator, head pressure guy. Nick, how the Texans going there, guy?
The Texans. I don't know. First, I I want to see who the coach is, man. I want to see who they hire for a coach. The season's over for us. I care but less about the draft. So we're even worse than the Jags. Jags at least got the draft to look forward to. We don't even.
Oh, like you've seen it. I love it, man. I love it.
We don't even have that. We don't even know who. I don't know. I think they're going to hire a GM first and then a coach. But I think the talk is Eric Bieniemy from Kansas City. But I hope they hire that guy. I really, really do. I hope they hire that guy. So
just kind of piggyback, just because they have the weapons to fit that offense. We have the quick receivers. You know, if we keep Will Fuller as one, we got those quick receivers like they do in Kansas City. So hopefully we go that route.
This is gonna go horrible if they get Eric Bieniemy.
What's up with the opening up the trade book to anybody? Who do you guys want gone? Who do you guys want to stay? Nick, just before you answer that, Deshaun Watson is not on the trading block. So you can't trade him. But who do you guys trade and what do you guys try to get?
He would have been before Brian was there.
The only ones you can trade is JJ Watt and Stills. That's it. And Fuller.
Yeah. He could trade. I mean, he could trade Cunningham. Nobody's going to take that contract. I mean, it's too big. Cunningham. Nobody wants that contract.
So
it's just. I mean, he could trade Justin Reed, but why would you trade your best defensive player on the team? So I would say trade JJ only if you get what he deserves. He deserves.
What is JJ?
Nothing. Second round, easy.
Yeah, that's it, right? I would say second. That's fair.
Yeah.
It depends on the team.
Get a first for him.
Yeah.
Like nobody.
The Steelers made a trade. What was it? 2 years ago, or last year when they traded for Fitzpatrick. They can do the same trade for Watt. Bring him back to the Watt brothers.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the Niners lost their best defensive end. They could be calling if they get first in the division. Something like that I could see happening.
Thanks, Chris.
Watt doesn't want to be here anymore. Did y'all see that post conference interview?
Yeah, he's done with the Texans.
Want to be here no more. He's checked out.
I mean, he can also go join his wife in Chicago. I mean, Chicago, they can trade for him. I mean, they're on the brisk of being contenders for the playoffs. So why not build that defense?
You imagine Chicago with Watt
and Khalil Mack
and Khalil Mack.
They still got 2 first rounds for Mack, right? Don't they still have the Raiders' first pick? Oh no, they don't have.
No, I think it's done now.
No, it's done now because they had that before this past draft was the last picks that they had.
So there you go. I mean, they're going to be a high first round if they make the playoffs. So why not give them Texans the first round?
Oh, well, then that's another thing. You're not gonna trade for the Bears because you're gonna get a worse pick.
Look, Nick. Right now, I don't care if it's the very first pick in the first round or the 32nd pick in the first round. I want a first round pick. Regardless, I want a first round pick.
Sounds better than nothing.
Yeah. It'll be one more first round pick than you have now.
Exactly. A second round. I mean, they can give me 2 second rounds.
One more second round pick than you have now.
Right. We have no picks until the third round. So it's like, fuck me, man. Come on.
So Nick, what did you see from the game? Texans lost 35-20. What did you see when you watched that game?
Texans again struggle in the first half, and then somehow miraculously, I guess Romeo Cornell is a genius adjuster at halftime, and we somehow all woke up. I mean,
or was it garbage time? I mean,
it's garbage time, but everyone wants to believe. No, it's halftime adjustments. My ass, garbage.
I agree. I agree. I mean,
dude, I think the week before last, I looked at the stats. Dude, Watson has 2/3 of his yardage, and he only has he only had 2 touchdowns in the entire first half of all the season. I'm just like, dude, that's ridiculous. We're averaging 9 points at halftime.
But but also, have you looked at the stats? How many times they run the ball in the first half? It's ridiculous. They run the ball first and second down and third. That is in the league.
True, though. That is completely not true. Because that game in the first half, we threw the ball 10 times and we ran the ball 6. So it's not true. It's not true. It's just
Look at look at their other games. They're trying to make that David Johnson trade look good.
Do you want to take
and it's not working.
Do you
It's
want
not
to
working.
Do you want to take a guess where our second half scoring is? Like what rank?
Oh,
where do we rank in the second half of scoring?
Oh, I know it's ridiculous. I know where you're going.
Number 5.
Right, I get it.
Well, Nick, unfortunately, every game is a 60-minute game and not a 30-minute game. So your second half scoring doesn't matter.
Well, if that was the case, they'd be only good for 15 minutes if that was the case.
Fair enough. Well, you guys get the Jaguars this week.
That's going to be a barn
At least
burner.
you'll get your second one.
We get a bye. Maybe. We get a bye this week, there, buddy.
Yeah, we get a bye. Then we
do too.
So you guys have nothing to talk about. Perfect. All right. So now let's save. I guess the best in the division for last.
Let's build into this, hurry.
Go for it.
All week we've been hearing, everybody in the group can account for this, right? We've been hearing Titans undefeated, 16-0. Derrick Henry running 2,000 yards. Tannehill 5,050 yards or 50 touchdowns.
5,050
yards. 50 touchdowns. Jadeveon Clowney 20 sacks this season, and they're gonna win it all, right? They're beating the Steelers. John, tell us what happened Sunday.
Okay, so you have a big lead in. You never heard a peep of that from the person you have representing the Titans on this podcast. I believe I was on last week saying we are going to get destroyed by Pittsburgh. but let me lead in with I want to start a little positive. Like I know I realize although it feels like I'm the only Titans fan that I know, but let me just like be a little positive. I said last week that this team doesn't seem to have a give up, which is not something I'm used to. We usually phone it in, or it's like when we get down big or whatever it is, we give up. I've seen that over and over again, but this team did not want to do that. Even when you go down huge at halftime and you give up a stupid touchdown with the special teams play, you get that big return and you go down 24-7 at halftime, but they really had a shot to pull it off. And I think it was that intentional grounding that kind of killed the last drive. A lot of people want to blame the kick. I get it, but I think if Tannehill doesn't get that intentional grounding, I think they're thinking end zone rather than tying the game with a field goal. Right. But the bad news is, of course, this defense, it's nothing new. It's been the problem all year. The secondary is killing me. These third downs, I swear to God, if I see one more 3rd and 16 get converted, I'm going to blow my brains out.
Does Adoree Jackson fix that at all?
No. He's serviceable, but he's not going to fix a lot of the problems. Again, we're on the last legs of Malcolm Butler and Jonathan Josephs. I mean, we're bargain pricing these guys anyway, although we paid a lot for Malcolm Butler, but it's not getting the job done. I think that the defensive front isn't helping. I think they were kind of hoping that we were going to get enough pressure on the defensive front to sort of maybe have a secondary that can kind of like just cover their guys enough. But again, there's Jadeveon Clowney getting blocked perfectly on every play is my favorite thing to see. I knew Vic Beasley was never going to be anything. I watched Vic Beasley in Atlanta forever. He's garbage. He's terrible. I'm missing Jarrell Casey more than ever. It's tough.
So
0 sacks, Clowney. 0 sacks.
I think he's got 1 tackle.
So I mean,
but hold on. But Clowney makes all this pressure for the other people to help. Get out of here.
So I mean, what happens the rest of the way? I mean, the Titans are heading into a little bit of a gauntlet themselves, right?
Yeah. Well, fortunately, like I thought the gauntlet had started. Like, well, first, like pre-COVID, it was going to be like Pittsburgh, Buffalo, and Houston. I thought we would lose all 3 of those. I was happy to get the 2 wins against Houston and Buffalo to begin with, and then I was going to, okay, we'll have a bye. But with this defense, especially with how terrible we are with mobile quarterbacks, I think the best thing that we had this week was going against a Ben Roethlisberger, who's however old he is and doesn't move around a lot. Otherwise, it could have been a lot worse because when as soon as a quarterback starts moving around, we just lose our minds, and it's even worse than you can imagine. And Joe Burrow, he knows how to move. So we're going to have, fortunately, Cincy's defense is terrible. And this offense is actually like, it's the best offense I've seen that I can recall in a long, long time. And hopefully they can just keep that going and just maybe, narrow out another 3-point win.
Yeah. So after the Bengals, you guys have Bears, Colts, Ravens, Colts, Browns.
Yeah.
The Packers, don't y'all got the Packers too?
Not so
late,
that's
week 16.
Yep.
I've got the Titans schedule in front of me. Yeah, they're week 16. Yeah. Hopefully Green Bay sealed like a 1 seed or something. We don't got to play them any of their starters. That's my only hope for that Green Bay game is that Green Bay has clinched something and they're just resting everybody.
Yeah. So what do you have for this week? What is your prediction?
I'm hoping that we win this. Right now I just want to get any win I can get. It's not optimistic. Again, I'm the most, I guess I'm the outlier for the Titans fans out of the group. I'm the one that thinks we're going to lose every game. So maybe we win this one 30-26, but anything's up in the air with Joe Burrow. He is going to torch us. It's happening. Joe Burrow is going to look like a genius. They're going to be calling him MVP soon enough.
All right. Well, guys, thanks for joining us. We, it's been a good time. Had a good chat. Anybody have any final thoughts before we head out?
I'm going to say this division. I think we've already seen that it's going to come down to Colts Titans. Honestly, this is going to rest on Phillip Rivers not making any mistakes and whether or not Derrick Henry is going to be used 25 to 30 times a game and actually be able to gain yardage.
It's impossible to make mistakes against my defense.
That was good.
Fair enough. Well, just quick.
My final thought is: don't be surprised if the Dolphins make the playoffs as a wild card. Don't be surprised.
Hell no.
That's bold.
Wow.
They're like 1-5. That's bold.
He's not predicting it. He's just saying, "Hey, it could happen." There's a lot of things that could happen. I mean, that's the.
Hey, have y'all been paying attention?
Stake a claim. Don't sit on the fence. Come on, give us something.
Aren't the Dolphins like 3-4 or something?
Yeah, they're 3.
Say it's gonna happen or say it won't. Come on, don't fence this.
They're 3-3. Hey, second in the AFC East.
Yeah, with the new quarterback Tua. Yeah, with the quarterback Tua.
Bust out. Tua's not.
All right, you heard first.
Dude, hasn't he not played since that big hip injury?
No, this will be the first game.
He actually played last. He played last week.
Well, I think the Dolphins are doing.
Well, they were on a bye after that. Right?
I think the Dolphins are trying to play the timing card because usually Fitzpatrick calms down around this time. He's usually great through first, September through mid-October, and then he goes away for a little bit, and then so they'll just play Tua for a minute, and then he gets injured, and then they'll come back in for Fitzpatrick's second run.
Well, everybody, thanks for joining us tonight. Again, don't forget to go to the Sports Host app and sign up through the link there. The more fans we can get in there, it's a app for fans, by the fans, for the fans. So, Matt, do we have any events coming up for AFC South through Sports Host?
Not at this moment. We are brainstorming as we speak.
Cool. Well, if we have anything that comes up, we'll definitely let you guys know. In the meantime, I'm Harish with your co-host Matt. We'll see you guys later. Peace.
All right, there we go.
Are we still live, Sam?
It's still recording.
Yeah, we're still live.